Morning all and welcome back once again to I Like Watches Too. I'm finally getting around to showing you this Merkur Diver. This watch briefly appeared in another video that I posted on I Like Watches when I showed you a couple of other Merkur watches. This is actually the watch I've been looking forward to showing you the most. I've been waiting to get my hands on this watch for around 6 months. I reached out to them around 6 months ago and said I'd love to review this watch. Don't suppose you fancy sending me one? And they said yeah, sure. A few weeks went by and they ran out of stock, so I've had to wait for this watch to be remade. And yeah, I'm very pleased to now have it in hand. I think it's a cracking looking watch, and of course that's the first thing I noticed when I saw it on AliExpress. It's a vintage inspired skin diver, so 100 meters of water resistance, internal rotating bezel look, a couple of crowns, yeah, screw down case back, pull push crown at the 3, although screw down crown at the, well, 10 o'clock for the internal rotating bezel. But I just love the way this thing looks. And yeah, I think it matches the strap very nicely. Let me know what you think, guys, of the way this watch looks. Now, I am just going to interrupt the video very briefly to ask for a huge favour. Would you mind considering hitting that subscribe button and the bell notifications icon if you haven't done so already? And then when this video's finished, head over to my main channel, I Like Watches, and do the same there. Again, if you haven't done so already. Cheers, guys. Now, unfortunately, their official store on AliExpress doesn't seem to offer too many specifications when they show their watches. They're quite limited in the information they provide. I don't even think they cover the movement that's inside their watches. This is the same movement that was in the other 2 watches that I showed you in that video on I Like Watches. I think I will take the case back off in a moment, but it's a hand wind only movement. It's not an automatic, so yeah, I strongly suspect it is the same movement. So I know immediately that's going to turn a few people off. It is a Chinese hand wind only movement, I believe. But yeah, like I said, the biggest draw for me was just the way this thing looks. Lovely strap, matches the colour of the loom on the dial really nicely, sort of earthy tones, olive greens and sort of khaki colours, aren't they? And the typical build quality from Merkur. Steel finishing is nice. I'm not seeing any polished accents on this, I don't think. I'll show you the watch close up during the course of the video. I think the only polished accents are those on the crown look, and yeah, that crown as well. But yeah, I think that's in keeping with the sort of toolish appearance, isn't it? Mineral crystal, unfortunately, as well. No sapphire. They do give that information in the listing on AliExpress. So again, I suspect that's going to turn quite a few people off. And it is a piece of double domed box crystal. The domage towards the center of the crystal isn't too severe, is it? In fact, it's, well, it's not flat, but it's fairly flat. But the domage around the outside of the crystal, fairly severe, distorting the crystal look. But of course, that is part of the appeal. It's a sort of vintage inspired skin diver, isn't it? Cool looking dial and hands on this watch. I think it's a really good looking watch. 12 and 6 on the dial, and the loom is printed on the dial. So I don't expect it to be fantastic. I'll show you a 5-minute loom degradation video at the end of this video. But yeah, really nice looking hands, polished, so a little bit of light play on the dial, and of course you've got that internal rotating bezel, 15, 30 and 45 marked on it with a triangle at the 12. Yeah, it's a good looking watch, and its looks shouldn't be ruined by a wonky internal bezel, because thankfully the crown disengages from that internal rotating bezel fairly nicely. When you undo the crown, you can obviously move that internal bezel, and when you have it located where you want, you push the crown in, screw it up, and generally it doesn't move that internal rotating bezel. So the alignment is down to you. Right, I'm now going to try and demonstrate that. The internal bezel looks to be nicely aligned. I'm going to push the crown in and start to wind it up clockwise, and yeah, there you go, it's wound up and still aligned. Nice. And there's the case back, seems to be nicely done, fully brushed apart from that etching, of course, a lion's head and some script at the bottom, design and made Merkur Watch Group. And the strap comes with quick release spring bars, but they've also provided drilled lugs for easy and quick strap changes. That was nice of them, wasn't it? So what's all this vintage inspired skin diver loveliness gonna cost you? Well, the AliExpress sale is still on at the point of me recording this video. I've just checked out and I've been offered this watch for around $105 from the official store on AliExpress, which I think is a decent price for this watch. Of course, Chinese hand wind only movement, and it's not sapphire crystal. So I suspect many of you have stopped watching this video already. If you've stuck around, you're probably interested in this watch, mainly because of its looks, which is really why I was interested in it. So yeah, you might find that price to be fairly reasonable. And if you do end up picking up this watch, I think you'll be pleased with it. Yeah, comfortable enough on the wrist, nice enough strap, feels like good quality. I mean, I'm not wild about the hardware look. It doesn't match the finishing on the case. I should have mentioned that earlier. That is a bugbear of mine. Yeah, polished hardware on this strap, and well, the only polished accents on the watch, or the actual case, are on the crown, aren't they? So yeah, unfortunately the hardware on the strap doesn't match the watch fantastically, but yeah, I do like the strap. It is soft and supple, and the watch isn't too big and heavy, doesn't sit too proud look. So yeah, let me know what you think. Now, of course, we've reached the end of the video, so here's the loom degrading over a 5-minute period, and I just want to wrap things up by saying, guys, thank you so much for your wonderful support during the sale. If you've used my affiliate links, you have really helped me out, and I do appreciate it. So thank you very, very much. And of course, if you've subscribed and hit that bell notifications icon as well, another big thank you. Cheers, guys. Thank you for your support. Take care.